Alright, we're back here. This area that just won't ever end. Hold on, I'm meditating. I'm thinking happy thoughts. Thinking happy thoughts. I'm thinking of a world in which there are designers who go, we don't actually need 70 puzzles in one area. We don't actually need to do that. We believe in ourselves. We believe we can make 20 to 30 beautiful puzzles, and it will be just as fun. I'm believing I'm in that world now. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's do some mediocre puzzles. No, it's not the sixes. Those aren't mediocre. I just said I'm doing the mediocre ones. Where are they? A bunch of sixes, sevens. No. Where are the puzzles? Hold on. Do this. There's somebody hanging out down there. It's hard to see. A four. We're doing that. There we go. It's time for some mediocre stuff. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This looks really similar to a puzzle I did before. This is giving me deja vu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regions total. I'm not totally sure where to start with this. Oh, probably this one right here. Let's start with this guy because it needs to see 6 above it, and there's only 6 tiles above it, so it does need to see all of these. But I can see any of these ones as much as I like. I can only see 4 below, and I've got to get a square and a triangle. I could grab this square, though, and just grab a triangle that's not... I don't have to go through here. Okay. This... Oh, this... I'm not very smart. So we can start here, and we know that we can't take any symbols that aren't right on this row. So there's this circle, and then this triangle and this square. I have to take these. There's no other ones I can take because it would be below or above. Which means this can't be its own region. I've got to take all of these pieces here. And now I've got to take 2 more pieces below. Won't be that. Don't know which ones. From there, what do we know? How am I going to take stuff over here? That looks tricky. Because there's not a lot of pieces I can take here to the left. And I can only take 2 more of these. So I can't take these 2. The reason I can't take these 2 is that this fell. Well, I also can't take that, but I can't take these 2. If I take these 2, now this one, in order to get up to one of these, has to move over. Now we already have all 3 to the left. Any other piece is going to break it. So I got to take at least that piece. That's blocked off. I think what it's going to be is, since I can't get these compasses to fill this space, I don't think... So this space right here can't touch any compass. Can't touch that one. It's way too far away. Can't touch this one, because even a modest trip is going to overdo it. And definitely not this guy. That's going to be way more than 3. So this piece right here is going to be part of not a compass, which means it's also going to be there, because there's no circles in here. Which means this compass has got to take these 2, I believe. Or at least this triangle. Because if this blue takes that triangle, who takes that one? We'd be in trouble. So that triangle is taken by blue, and red takes this triangle. The square is anyone's guess. It could be the red or not. I think it's the blue. Is there any way for red? Because if red grabs this, we have 2 pieces to the left. And this is now 3 pieces to the left, but only 2 above. So I would normally just do this, but then who goes there? So I think this is also part of blue. That's a possibility. So the triangles are pretty well spoken for. I need 2 more triangles. I need a green triangle and an orange triangle. What do they belong to? How about these fellas here. I don't think this is ever going to happen, so let's see. I can only do 4 below, and they're not going to be over here, so they're going to be this way. So the blue's got to move down, and then do I do this? If I do this, then red has to take this, and there's no way for it to take without overloading, because this will leave an orphan cell, this would overload. So I think this is it. I think we got to block that, which means the only way to get there is this way. This is now complete, which means this has to go here. We have to take one more. Oh, hold on, I already got 4. I already got 4 below. That's it. This is complete here, so this blue's just got to take this whole region. Now, nothing says the blue can't keep going, and in fact it might have to, because how do I get 2 down here? If the orange belongs to this compass, it's certainly not blue. It's not any of these. If the orange belongs to this compass, that means blue's got to be over here somewhere, because it can only take 1. It would have to be like at least these 2. Now, if orange doesn't belong to this compass, what does this compass belong to? It has to be one of the regions because of the rose windows. So it's not the red region, because that's just silly. Yeah, because I need to see 1 more below and 2 more below. It's not going to happen. So it's not these regions. It's orange or green. If it's green, then how does orange get anywhere? Because it's going to cut that off. Unless it's like it's just silly. It's silliness, and we don't abide silliness here. So I think this is the orange region, which means I got to bring this down at least that far. Is that right? We'll see. Whatever the case, this guy's got to touch. So the squares that are remaining, red must touch this one. It's not going to reach here because it's going to overload that, and it's certainly not going to reach there. So it's this square. Then it can't be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's just no way we're going to do it. So that is there. This is one thing we can do. These 2 could be the same region. It's possible. I can do this, I can do this, I can do that. This actually is bad. No. So I think I gotta take this region. If I don't, then this isn't gonna work. This is gonna lock this place in badly. So that's got to be taken. So it's which circle do I want for red? I wonder if these 2 go together. Right, I could imagine it, right? Because now, oh no, we can't do that. We can't bring it together that way. It would be if we to do this. Yeah, we already have the 4 below, and we need 1 more below. We're gonna overload. So these are not together. So I think this belongs to green, because it can't belong to red. So it's not going to reach this circle. This circle can't be green. It can't be red. Red's going to touch one of these 2. If it was, because if green goes here, that's the circle. If it doesn't, then I have to go around to get it, and it's not going to work. So how is this going to work? I think I got to grab this. Is there a way to make this? This'll work. This'll work. I think I have to connect these 2. Because if I don't connect these 2, I think I was running into the problem of who goes up there. Because it won't be the green, it would have to be the orange. But now the orange has to cut off the green. So no, this is all orange. Everything has been orange this whole time. And this is the shape, because now it has 4 and 2, and I just got to get 3 above. It won't be this one. That's red. Let's swap these places on red and orange right next to each other. Let's do that. That is the green, and now this one's orange. So the blue does have to go all the way down here. Now this orange is free to do whatever we like. So we can't go below. The orange is free to take these, not that one. And then, like so. Yeah! I said it was going to be mediocre puzzles day, and I lied. Maybe if I went into this thinking they're all going to be mediocre and then they aren't, I'll be happy, rather than assuming I'm going to have a good time and then not. See, this is how you do these regions. I've had this complaint multiple times. You have the compass that doesn't have anything on it, and it often doesn't contribute to the puzzle. It's just there to be like, look how clever we are. But when you have the solitude, now I know I gotta do something with these. Because I can't connect these two to each other. Because basically what these symbols are doing is nothing except forcing multiple regions. That's how you use this. Okay, there you go there. There's nothing really limiting what types of shapes to make. It's just I have to follow the compass and solitude rules and the Gemini and the Delta. It's all on the board. How about you? We'll start with you, my friend. We need to see 7 spaces to the right. Now, there's a lot of ways we can go. Well, we can only move up here once. So we've got 1, 2 spaces. Let's imagine this was the 3rd. We'd have our 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. We have to take these. So it's a question of whether we take that one or that one. Not entirely sure yet. We could also take cells back here. Now, is there any reason why I wouldn't just do this? Right? Because if I don't, if I have a separate region here, yeah, I have to do it. Solitude, that's the reason why. I see what I'm okay. Sometimes it helps to read the rules of the puzzle, you would think. So this piece now has to reach a symbol because of solitude. So in doing so, I need to make sure this one is not the same as that. Is there any world in which they're the same? Because that's the end of this. I can't go any further. Is there any world in which I would be tempted to make these the same symbol? I don't think that it was ever possible. So what was the point of this? What was the point of this delta? It makes me think I've done the puzzle wrong, right? Like that's just another reason why my personal belief in puzzle design, not every game you make, but puzzle design, you don't want to be super clever. You just want to explain exactly what it is the player is supposed to do. And so I'm going to reset this so you can see what I mean. I look at this puzzle and I see delta here. And it is not just communicating to me that these regions must be different shapes, but that somehow, if this delta symbol weren't here, I would be able to solve this puzzle with the same shape. For instance, I'm going to ignore these other shapes, these other rules for a minute. If there wasn't a delta here, I might have a solution that does this, right? So the delta is telling me you can't do that. It's forcing another solution. I'm going to imagine there's no delta here. Now let's do this puzzle. We know solitude, which means we know that this region must go up to another symbol. It must touch a symbol. We also know this region must touch a symbol. Now this symbol here says we need to see 2 above. So we got to grab these 2. We can't grab any more anywhere. So there's not another 2 cells we can see above. So this is forced. It's impossible for this blue shape to ever be this red shape, right? In order to do that, see, I've got 2, then it bends into 3, and then it would have to bend here downward. So if the delta isn't here, the solution is exactly the same. Are you seeing that? That's what it looks like to me. So my instinct is to say, this must be the wrong solution because it doesn't use the delta. It only uses the solitude plus the compass. That is what I'm thinking when I look at this. So I'm going to keep going because I can't imagine any other solution to this. This is just what it has to be. I'm going to keep going, and if I solve the puzzle, then I will have proved that this delta was not a necessary part of the puzzle. Are you following what I'm saying? I hope you are. Sometimes I feel like, I feel like the world's biggest bitch because I will complain about stuff in a puzzle that most people probably don't care about. But like, this is just how you have to do it. Puzzle design is a little bit more strict than other types of things. Other types of games you can have superfluous elements. Usually with puzzles, the actual element of the puzzle needs to be incredibly Spartan. It just needs to be very bare, and this is what you solve. There is no piece of the puzzle that could be removed without breaking it. Whereas it looks like I can remove this delta without touching the rest of this puzzle. I'm just going to keep going. So I need to see 7 to the right of this. We've worked out we have to see at least these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's either that piece or that piece. Now, continuing on this route, up here, this, because of solitude, needs to touch a symbol, so it's got to at least go there. Because of solitude, this also needs to touch a symbol and go at least that far. So I think that's going to come into conflict here because we need to see the same shape. This piece here is going to potentially be a problem. Let's make it a different color, purple. Because we got to move to the left somehow, because it's the only piece that's to the left. We need to see 3. So this is 1, 2, 3. We can't see any more. This piece has to touch a symbol. It will be this one. It's forced into being an L shape, which means this is also forced into being an L shape, which is going to make this shape at least 2. See, this is a case where the Gemini is important. If I had removed the Gemini, this would be a valid solution. Because of the Gemini, see what I mean? Like, this is required, this is not. And I'm going to harp on this because in a game with 1,200 fucking puzzles, you're going to make me sit through this much game. I am going to sit here and point out every little thing. If you think you need me to do this much stuff, I'm going to point out how you missed all of this, and you would have caught this if you had instead designed a puzzle game with 400 to 500 puzzles and spent more time refining them. Right? See how that is? See why I might get angry at game designers who do this shit? It isn't simply, oh, one puzzle has this thing. There have been multiple puzzles in which the puzzle could have removed elements without changing the solution. And that starts to irritate me when it happens a lot in a game this long. Alright, I'm going to stop there. Now, I don't think this purple is going to go here, because then we need to have a V shape here, and I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm going to hold off on that. Now, this one over here definitely has to reach this symbol. Now, we do not know for sure if this is going to be the case. This delta might tell me, because now it's not going to tell me. So I've got to at least go this far. So I'd say, oh, that means I can't do this because that's the same shape, but there's nothing stopping me from doing this, completely negating the delta in the first place. So this delta might not be necessary. I'm going to imagine this isn't a delta. I know that these two shapes so far are different. I know that I can make them the same, but I'm going to see if I can solve this without picturing the delta. That's what I'm going to figure out. I think I can't. I think this delta actually is important. I'm calling my shot now. This one isn't. This was added in because the devs think they're clever. This was added in because this is how you solve the puzzle. I'm going to imagine it isn't. And I'm going to keep going. And if I can't solve the puzzle unless I add this in, then we're good. Okay. Let's see. Here we have something fun. These two pieces need to touch a symbol. It will be this one. Does that do anything here? I don't know. It does mean this has to happen. Now the trouble is... Oh, hold on. There's no trouble. I am just stupid because I saw a Gemini and thought they were deltas in my head. I don't think I said that, but in my head I was like, what on earth am I going to do? Well, I have to make this at least an elbow. I can't... There's no way this will happen. This has to be at least an elbow. Now it can't be any bigger, which means this can't be any bigger. So we've locked this in. We've locked this stuff in here. This is great. I love that. Now this piece here is going to be the S piece, the S tetromino, because it's got to touch a symbol. And now this one also has to be the S tetromino, like so. Great. Perfect. Amazing. Love it. Huh. Is there a way for this 5 to have a wall here? I'm asking a very dumb question because I am dumb and I need help. The reason I'm also asking it is I'm just trying to see. I imagine I'm doing this, but I want to imagine a world in which I don't, to make sure I don't make an assumption I don't want to make. If so, I would have to take this entire route, breaking this Gemini. So yeah, obvious question answered. I must take one. I can never bring this around. So all the cells I get below must come from this passageway, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and I must take this one. That's all the cells I can grab. I could grab some more cells here, but it does put quite the restriction on this piece. Now with this 6, where am I going to get those cells? There is no way. So right here's the cells that are above the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these. But there's no way to get to these because I'd have to go through that guy. That's not going to happen. So I have to take every last one of these cells. Alright, this delta still might be important. Because if I take this cell here, I would force this. Right? But I don't have to. I could take this, and if I do so, this delta is not important because I couldn't possibly make that shape anyway, because this one has to take this shape. I could do whatever I want here. So I'm gonna keep my eye open there. So see if the delta actually matters. So I gotta do some other stuff. This piece now is going to be a fucking nightmare. Okay, hold on. No, hold on, I made an assumption. Okay. I can take pieces down here. I was like, if I do this, now I have to have this whole thing here. There's no way I'm making a piece there. No. I don't. I gotta take some of these. That's just gotta happen. This 4 has got to take some cells above it. Hold on. This elbow I should probably know. I should probably have this elbow taken care of, right? If I put a wall here, this elbow is going to break because it will never have solitude, so it's got to touch that. Which means it can't go here because then this 4 cannot possibly see anything above it. So we got to block that. We can go here, we can go there, we can go there. We can't go here. So that's blocked. So it's either there or there. Either way, this 5's got to move over. And this an even greater restriction on this piece here. I feel like I'm going to get this centerpiece toward the end. I can have this, which puts a further restriction on the Gemini, or I can do this, making it easier. This 4 piece now has got to go up. There's no way to get around this way. It could take this piece, but if it doesn't, it takes at least those 2. And now I can keep taking pieces here, but it doesn't matter for the 4. I have to take that, which means this has to move over. This is the full piece here. It's a little more complicated than I'm used to. Like tetrominoes and pentominoes, I've done so many puzzles, I can figure out arrangements of them here. Figuring out an arrangement of this purple shape into that spot is a bit more work than I really would want to do. This piece has to touch... Yeah, this is where it's going to get tricky. This piece has to touch that one. And it has to be here, because right, if I don't move there, then I have an empty space there. So this has to go here and there. Is that right? Can I imagine a world where this doesn't touch that piece? It would have to touch this one, and then we have just a crate. We can't fit that in there. But if it touches this piece, it's got to touch that square as well. But I can't... Oh, so stupid. No. Delta means different shape. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. What's this delta doing? What is this delta doing in the puzzle? Once again, this delta doesn't exist. I'm looking at this Gemini by itself. This Gemini needs to attach to a symbol, and only one symbol. It's got a choice between this one way up here, this one down here. This one way up here, there is no way on earth that shape fits in here. So, by process of elimination, it's this shape. It has to be at least these. It can be more, but it has to be at least these 5. Is there anywhere to put a P shape in here? There is not. This symbol can only be single lines. Meaning, this delta is not necessary because I know that the shape on the other side of this wall will be a different shape than the one over here. I know that it can't be the same. So once again, what is the delta doing in this puzzle? You see, like, once you start to see it once, you start to see it everywhere. What is it doing in here? And it feels a little bit rude to demand a level of perfection from a game that, like, it's beyond expectations. But I don't know. Once a game is this big, you start to get the impression that the developers are very proud of their work and are kind of incapable of editing their work. Because if they were more into curating the experience, cutting things down, making sure it was the best of the best, that'd be one thing. But it's like they're just releasing their second draft and making me do the edits, is what it feels like is happening at this moment. This isn't making the puzzle bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. But it is a mistake I have noticed in probably half a dozen puzzles now. And that means it's probably in more than half a dozen puzzles. I just noticed this. So just putting that out there, this is not correct. This is a superfluous piece. If this was the only one, big deal. But there's one here and potentially one over there. Anyway, I gotta take that piece and I can't take any more. I might take that, I might not. We'll see. This has got to be a P shape. It's probably going to take those four, but we'll see. If I start adding other pieces to this, it's just going to get a little bit rude, don't you think? Now, this shape here has got to be attached there. Now, if I were to attach this purple here, I would be in trouble. Because what would the shape be here? This actually is going to be trouble. If I put a wall there, which piece goes here? Right? I'd have to put somebody there. It can't be this, because this would be on the opposite side of the wall from it. It would have to be here. And then there is no way that shape is fitting there. That's not happening. This has got to be here. So, it's possible then. Yeah, this actually does. This does. I gotta do this. And I think I know how I gotta do it. I think I know. Now that I've worked out the yellow has to go up, I think I've worked it out. Because if this is a wall, then what goes over here would be this, and now we have another very, very complicated shape to do. But it's much more easy if I do this. I can't make a V shape, that's true, but I can do this. And now I have that. I think that's right, but I don't know for sure. If I don't do that, right? If I did it just like this, there'd be no way for this shape to go. Versus if I just did this way, there'd be no way for the shape to go. So yeah, it's got to be both, all of these. I could take more. If I did this though, yeah, I have to bring this here, which is similar to that. So yeah, this is just it. This is just the shape. So I can't do this, right? These are different, but these are the same. Excellent, which means this comes all the way down. That's fine. I can't take anything because that's just going to break the puzzle. So I can take all these as what I want. I got to figure out a way to make this shape go in, and I don't really want to do. It's going to be tedious to just work out individually how this shape fits. If I moved, I can only put 2 more shapes in here. Well, I can also bring this shape in as much as I want, to a degree. So whatever happens. If I bring this shape down here, it actually is great, because then the delta, I'm guaranteed a different shape. This one here, if I put a wall there, I said this P shape, this would be tricky, because now this P shape has to attach to there, which isn't going to happen. Even if I did it this way, I would have to I'd have to do something like this, right? Like that's the shape. See what I mean? And now that's trapped. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, that's just not gonna work. What goes there? That's the same shape. The trouble is now, what do I do with this? That can't be right. This is a different one. It would come, and it couldn't go like this, right? This is so nice, but then, I put the wall there, and then I assumed the wall was correct because I am a dumbass. This wall's not correct. This is totally fine. This is just the answer. The whole puzzle is solved from here. There we go. So we get this. We put in this piece. Great. We keep this. Now we got to make this work. So this delta didn't do anything. This one didn't do anything. We know this is now the answer. So this delta is in fact important. I called my shot. I called it. I was 100%. This is not necessary. This is not necessary. I could also say this isn't necessary, because at no point anywhere in the solving of this puzzle through the correct logical path did this ever factor in. Completely unnecessary. So this now is complete as a 7. So now we actually do have the same shape here. We can't make the same shape. That disambiguates this section here. This 6 has to take the rest of them. This 4 has to take the rest of them. And that's the solution to that puzzle. It's a fine puzzle. The puzzle on its own is fine. The logical path through the puzzle is brilliant. That's all great. This thing here, if this were the only puzzle that did this, I would just go, huh, that seems like a mistake. But this is not the only puzzle with this problem. I don't know why these deltas are here. I could imagine that this one here, I want to get rid of these marks for a second. I could imagine that this delta is here because now going around the loop, we have a little symmetry with Geminis and deltas. But I just need to stress, I do not care about how clever you are as a designer. I care about what you're telling me in the puzzle. And what you're telling me in the puzzle when you put this in here is that I need to beware about putting the same symbol here. And it is so impossible to do that. No one could ever be tempted to put the same symbols. All of the other rules rule that out. So even if you didn't put the delta here, nothing would change at all. It's just there for like visual pleasantness. Why would you do that? I don't know. It's just every in a game with 1,200 puzzles, every little bit just chips away at my confidence that much. If it was way less puzzles, I wouldn't have enough time to get this fucking pissed off. Okay. Oh, I'm still in note-taking mode. Let's go here. Let's see if this one's probably going to be better. This one actually looks... I like the patterning on this one a lot better. We'll see how this works. Let's just make sure we have any... Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, my, I see the 9s there. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, solitude is very meaningful here. It means that I got to fill this in with something from these guys. Who's going to go in this space? Now, it could be one region taking all of these, or it could be 2 regions. But whatever the case, there can't be 3 regions in here. Whoever's got that spot, if it doesn't move, right, like that's it. It's got to go out one way or the other. Maximum 2 regions in this hallway. It's not going to be any of these. Right, this 9, I'm going to give it the minimum number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It can go that far. That's totally fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's as... Oh, this got a 1. This can't go in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this can go pretty far in. This one... 1, 2, 3, 4. That's as far as that goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's as far as that goes. This can't go into there at all. This guy can do all sorts of stuff. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Okay. In here... How about this one? This one right here. This corridor. I'm going to rule out some obvious stuff. All of these fellas here can't get in that corridor. That would just be silly. But, like, it's just way too far, right? So we're just gonna cut that out. None of these. All of these folks also can't get into this corridor. That would just be silly. I'm ruling it out because sometimes there's a puzzle with a big twist, and it would be a nice, clever twist. Maybe this one, instead of saying 9, it said 476, and I had to get a bunch of stuff way over here. But I don't. I can't get over there. So it's going to be one of these 4 or one of these 4. This guy can't get into that corridor because it's to the right. This one can't get in the corridor because it's below. This one can't get into the corridor because 2 spaces before we reach it. This one can reach that far into the corridor. Cool. That's a candidate. This guy can't reach. This is 2 to the right, doesn't get in. This one can't get in. This one can't get in. It's too high. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So between these 2, we're going to fill this corridor. That's all I know. How am I going to say this? But I can also do halfway. I just know that these 2 are going to be our corridor fillers here. That means... Well, this one couldn't fill this corridor anyway. How about this corridor here? Well, this guy actually can just take it all. That's just too obvious. Same with that one. That one's just a really, really simple one. But let's make sure the others can't. This one can't. This definitely can't. This one can't because it's too far above. None of these are... This is just silly. Although, actually, this is possible. I mean, it breaks this shit, but, like... I mean, like, what the hell? That's just, it's silly because it cuts this stuff out. So these are probably the ones going into this corridor. This corridor here can't be filled with any of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's just not going to go in. So this one could easily go all the way in. Hold on a second. I've been paying attention to these corridors. I would probably pay attention to something much cooler. I think these are the ones going in here. Actually, hold on. What if I did? No. Okay, I'm very clearly doing this puzzle wrong. I'm just very clearly doing this wrong. Doing this puzzle. This is not how you're supposed to solve this puzzle. So, this guy right down here, I need 5 pieces to the right. Where are they going to come from? They're going to be these 5. They can't be any other 5. Because, like, these 5 up here are way too high. It can't reach, it'll run out. So it's got to be these 5. We now have 1 below and 3 above and 5 to the right. So it could take this piece, but for sure it can't take any of these. Just all of that is gone. So now this fella here has got to be part of a symbol, and it's going to be this one because anything else is going to overload massively. This will overload. That's actually not overloading. That's really funny that it's an overload. But whatever, it has to be this one because this one also says take 3 below. It's not going to take. Yeah, if this was over here, we'd be screwed. So this has to take. Yeah, and it can't be like that. It can only take 2 to the right, so it's going to be these. Can't take that one now. Can't take that. We're done. So this piece here has to belong somewhere. Now, if it doesn't belong to the blue, if we say, let's make another one, let's make an orange cell here. Could it belong to this red? No, it's too far down. Could it belong to this blue? Or this, this piece, whatever it is here? No, because it's going to overload no matter what I do. Yeah. So, could it possibly belong to something outside of this region? Yeah. No. Because it would have to, if it would go here, it has to take all these. It's going to overload this 9. I'm just making sure that the stupid answer isn't correct. It's not one of those puzzles where that's the thing. I just got to make sure. I don't want to get tricked into that. Could it be any up here? No, no, no. It's definitely not going to be anything over here. So yes, this must be the blue. It can't take that, so this blue is complete. This piece now, this is where it gets interesting. This piece right here has got to come up. It can't be part of either of these. It can't be part of anything here. It's going to overload. It's got to be something from this side, and it's not going to be here. It's going to massively overload, right? No, that's possible. It's much easier to do this, though. So now, we can take this if we want. I need 5 above. There's only 4 above here, which means it's got to take both of these. That's for sure. But I can also just keep going. 1. If this was not the red, if I said, let's make a nice cell that's not the red one, well, this would have to come out and touch something, right? It's probably going to touch this one. So it's going to overload it no matter what. So yeah, it's got to be that. Which means I can't take that. I can take this, though. I can only do 3 to the left, so I actually can't take all these. Oh, that is 3 to the left, though. That's just 3. It's fine. This has to take 2 to the right. And in order for this to take 3 to the left, it can't be up here. So it's got to be 3 over here. It's got to take at least that one. Because it could take this, but then it can't take that. And then it would still have to, it can't take that one. So it's got to take this one at least, and that one. Which means this piece must take those 2. And then this piece, it's got to be done there. It's not done as much as it is. That's that, because it can still do this. We don't have to take that piece, we can take that one. Can't take that piece, so that belongs to whatever this is. Which means now it is not this. This is going to overload. I'm just making sure the silly answer is not the answer. So this orange is going to be here. I think that is just what we got. I've got 7 pieces over, so now I just need 2 more. But I've already got 1 below, so I can't be below. Oh, hold on, it's not below, it's to the left. I'm silly. I can do this all day. I can still do this. I don't know for sure. This can still go here. This can still go there. This could actually just be both of those as orange. Interesting. I feel like I have vastly overthought this puzzle, but we'll see. That means this guy is not going up into there. So who is going up into this region? This one can't. This can only go that far into there. So who's going to touch that cell? Can't be you. Can't be any of these guys. Can't be any of these guys. Can't be any of these guys. It must be this one. This one can go a little bit into it. No, it can't. This one has got to go into here. It's not going to go around because, yeah, that's silly. That's silly. That's just silly, man. It's going to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got to take those. So it could take those to be 9, or it could take these. Let's think about this now. This space here. Oh, you can just be you. It can just be you. Okay. I was worried for a second because this can only go so far down, and these other ones can't get in there. We could keep going, because if we do it this way, the 9 is complete. But if we do it this way, the 9 still has one more can go. So I'm not totally sure. I just know that these all have to be part of this region here. That can't be right either. Then how does this one survive? How's this one going to get 4 cells above it? Oh, no. I got it. Hold on. You, my friend, are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go here, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go like that. That makes sense. So we actually do have this. All 9 are taken care of. That's blocked. That's blocked. Now, it can't be there. And these are all blocked now, so it's got to be this piece. So this has to be here. So we've got 8 here, which means who's going to be there? It could be red, or it could be this teal. We can also do that. This needs to take 4 cells below it. Which 4 is it going to take? Well, this one can take these 2. So it's got to take those 3. It's got to take all that. It's got to take that. There you go. So this is actually complete. Hold on a second. This is there you go. This is complete. Now, this cell has to take this because we can't reach it with that. Now, do I do this or do I do that? I still don't know on that. I've got to get down here somewhere. It's got to be this guy. Right? Is there any world in which it's not this guy? So it's either that or it's this. Don't know. That's got to go there. This piece here... Probably you, because if it was you... 1, 2, 3... we can't go far... Yeah, we can't go farther left. This one can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This feels dumb, because now this piece can't do anything. Yeah, I've got to get 3 cells below both of these. There's only 6 cells below both these. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 like this. And then this guy over here has got to take these 3 cells. Let's make you red. Like so. That's what's got to be, right? Like, that makes sense? Yeah, just point at the screen where I've done it wrong. Thanks. Then we got to take these. That's just done. Is it done, though? Can I do this? I can do that. This one's complete there. We can take 3 more. We can do all sorts of stuff there. How do I get 6 cells below this one? I'd have to go in this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this one's incomplete. This one needs 3 above. This needs 3 above. Yeah, there's only 5 cells here. These need 3 above. So this guy has got to go all the way in here. And then it's got to take some cells here. Which means that's that. Because we can't go around the other side. I need 3 above. It's going to be these 3. Because any other 3 is going to be more than 1 to the right. And that would be bad. That would be bad. So that's going to be there. He's got to take those 2, which means it's that one. That's done. This has got to go down here because that's done. This has got to go there. So I've got to take... I can take these if I want. I can take that one. But this cell's going to be taken with blue, and so is that cell. I can take this one with red. We'll see. Okay, now let's work in this area, because it's the only area that's left to work in. I need 2 cells above that can't. Oh dear lord, I can't do this here. So how am I gonna get? Oh, do I gotta do this? Do I gotta do this? Oh my gosh, I gotta do this. Yeah, I got 3 above. This way it gives me 2. Yeah, I gotta have that. This one, 1, 2. It's got 1 below, 2 below, 3, 4 below. Because that's not there. This has got to have 2. This is complete. This is complete. And that. Hey, that was a good puzzle too. We're in a good time. Sort of. Hold on. Maybe that's the trick. If I go in saying that this is going to suck, it won't. That's actually not going to work. Sometimes I go in knowing it's going to suck and then it does. And I understand the games are going to have ebb and flow. Not every game is going to have bangers all the way through. But if you're going to have a game this long, that means even if 10% of it isn't bangers, that's 120 puzzles that are really bad. And I don't know, I'd personally avoid designing games like that. Are these all 6s and 7s now? It looks like we all have 6s and 7s. I just want to make absolutely sure. We've got 7 puzzles to go. 1, 2. Oh, there's one hidden in there. And it's a 4. See, yeah, the hidden ones aren't... So, like, if you don't... If you look for puzzles using the tab thing to make sure you're going in difficulty order, you rob yourself of the searching. You rob yourself of that sort of joy. But that way you let yourself go from worse to better puzzles, so the progression is good. But if you don't cheat, quote unquote, looking for the puzzles, then you're probably going to do them out of that order and then end your puzzle solving on a more sour note. All right. This can't be there. This can't be there. Anything else? Size separation, I guess, will be important today. These for sure. Don't know anything else. We don't have anything that says these compasses are part of these 8s. Whatever the case may be. There's no way for this 8 to be part of this compass. That for sure is a separate region. So we gotta take 4. And even if we we can't take any of those, so we just have to take those 4. That's all we can take. That piece is taken care of. So this is a 5er, so let me make it, I'm gonna make 5 purple. That's what I've been doing for a while. This guy has got to have 4 above. Is there any way to do it without touching this 8? If I did it without touching the 8, I'd have 1, 2, 3. Couldn't touch that one. 4. Then I wouldn't be able to take any more pieces, and I would have 5 touching 5. So I think this has to touch the 8, which is going to go there. Now I can only have 2 more above. I can't do this. I can't touch that. I could do that if I wanted to have 2 singles. Yeah, it's going to overload. Yeah, and I think if I put a wall there, I'm screwed. I need 2 more pieces above. They'd be these 2. So I think I put that there, which means I have to take that one as well. This piece here is going to be a 4. This one probably going to be that. Oh, hold on, I gotta get... No, this might be part of the 8. This can't be a 4 because of size separation. This 8 now is gonna go here. Ah, I see. Okay, well I got it all wrong. This has to go here, so that's 3. Can't be this one. That's gotta be that. This I think is still that shape, because if I go here, I can do it this way though. Who knows? 1, 2, I can't do any more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's gotta be single. That means if I do this, yeah, I can't go down here, because then that's a single. Must be missing something obvious here. Won't be that. Can't go here because that makes a single, so it'd have to go here. But then we have that. You have a bunch of... Yeah, this is not gonna work. Oh, let me back this shit up. Back this up. This piece here. We can't go down, we gotta go to the right. We can't go down from there. Can't really do this because then this is a problem. So we've got to have this. It's got to be this fiber. This piece here has got to come up. 1. Now, if I said it wasn't part of the 8, then it would go here. It couldn't attach there, so we'd have the 3. We'd have to go here. And then this piece is broken. Because this piece here would have to go around, and then, yeah, it's broken. So this is part of the 8. What if it's that? Yeah, that's it. We can do it this way. We can do it this way. That might be, in fact, what we have to do. So we have to connect it here. We've already got 2 above. Can't go there. It can't be all up here, so it's got to move this way, which means it can't be this one. But it's got to move down here, because now we have 3 above. We can only make 1 more, so we got to go this way. We've got to make a thing here. Can't bring this down. It's got to go over it. But we can't go this way either, so yeah, it's got to attach. That's what I was missing, was the ability for the 8s to actually be the same region, instead of all separate regions. This is another single. This one. I mean, this is a region. It's just not going to be right. I've got 6 up here, and I've got 5 to fill. So we could do it this way. But I can't put a wall there for sure. This has got to go here. I could take both of these. I can't take both of these. Now this won't work. So I have to take that one at least. So either this and that. This doesn't work, because now I have 2 singles. So I've got to take this here. That fills the region. This one, I have a couple options for this guy. But that gives me a domino here. That's fine. This guy can't be a 4. So if I did this, it would be wrong. It's 2 4 next to each other. But I can do a 5, and the way to do a 5 is like this. That's how it's going to be. I can't do anything else besides that, because I do need to take 2 above. So either I take these 2 or those 2. Taking these 2 forces a 4. Taking these 2 forces a 5. Yeah, so this is it. Making sure. 1 and 2. How's that? If I did this, we'd be screwed, so this is going to move that way. This would be fine. This would also be fine. Don't know for sure. This would be fine. We have a few options here. This piece can't have a wall there because we'd be in trouble, so that's got to move down. And if it's part of the 8, if this was part of the 8, we'd be in trouble, because we couldn't be add any pieces here, there, or there. It'd have to be here. So this is not part of the 8. This is fine. We'll see. We'll see what this is all about later. This 8's going to have to move down, because if we don't, what's going to happen? We're going to touch another 8. So we've got to move it down into here. We can take this one. We can't take that. So we can take these. We're going to have to take this piece. If we don't take this piece, we got to go around. What's it going to do? So we got to take this piece. It's got the 2 to the left, so that's the end of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. This has got to be a domino. This has got to be some singles. This is done. This has got to be a 3 and a 1. This could be a solo piece. If I moved this in here, we have a domino, which is fine. If I had a solo piece here, I could still... No, I see. If I put a wall here, right, I gotta take that spot, and now this is complete. I have 2 singles next to each other. So this has to go there, which means I can't take that spot. I have to take this one and have another domino. Now this piece cannot be an L, but I'm not worried about this being a 4. It's either going to be this or that. Something's wrong here. Something's off. Something's off here. This is a 4. I know that much. These are 2 1s. Right? Okay, I want to work this out. Oh, no. Nothing's off. This doesn't work because now I need another piece. That's what it is. I was just looking up here. That's what I was like, there's no way that's wrong. This is correct. This has to be a 3, and then we have 2 more singles. That's it. Cool. Just making sure. Let's do another one. No, I don't really have. I don't want to leave too many for the next time. I got six. Got six puzzles left. There's a 6, a 7, a 6, a 7, a 6, and a 7. Yeah. I don't want to jump into the 6s and 7s now. But this might take 2 more. It's too long. It's too long. It's just like if you told me I have to solve 60 puzzles, that actually sounds decent. But if you told me every section's 60 puzzles and there's so many of them, I've already solved over 1100. It's just not. No, no, there's just too much. Yeah, like my two options to the devs who are clearly watching this, because what else could devs do to support their mental health than watch people play their games and get frustrated? That certainly would make them feel better about their life choices. But like my solution to this is first cut half of the game minimum, cut half of it, and either just leave it cut and just be like there were some puzzles we didn't put in because they just they were 7, 8 out of 10 instead of 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, right? We got rid of those. Or you got some DLC. You cut some areas, you cut your loopy, bricky match puzzles because those are all shit. And then you come back with some DLC like, here's some extra stuff. And then you charge me $20 for the DLC. And I will gladly pay it. I will pay you fuckers money. But now you have my $20. I don't even remember what I paid, but it was about $20. I paid you $20. And you have wildly undercharged for the size of your game. And you've overstayed your welcome. I invited you into my house, and it's 6 weeks later, and you're still crashing on my couch. Get the fuck out of my house.